Hello, hello, hello. We back at it again on Love Lux ZPOD podcast. And today we have a very special topic that I'm going to get into, but first I just wanted to apologize because I am a day late with this video. Now look, the reason why I'm a day late with this video is because it's so complex. It's a very complex topic, and that's why I named this Z podcast episode the complexity of what? The complexity of love. Now, what I really wanted to get into was the way that I understand love and the some of the conclusions that I came to in the past year or so. And basically, those conclusions that I came to have to do with basically dual principles, right? So what a dual principle is, I guess, is just two things that they contradict each other, right? Real versus fake, I guess. That's what I mean by dualism, dualist principles. And before I get into the definition, I just wanted to make an overview about what type of things I'm going to be talking about. I'm talking about love, the complexity of it. I'm talking about intelligent love versus experienced love. And I'm talking about the reflection, right? The effects of love that is reflected and the effects of love that is reciprocated. And then get into that as well. So I didn't want to run you guys for too long on this, but I feel like it's a very special topic to me and close to the heart, literally. Very close to the heart. But by the way, like back then in the day, they used to say that your heart was your mind. Like everything that went on in your mind, they used to think that all came from the heart. Now we know that it has to do with your mind and then nothing to do with your heart. Your heart just pumps blood. But I feel like it's because, you get the feeling right here whenever something's going on and you get the butterflies in your stomach. It's not actually in your stomach, it's up here, right? But I feel like they were just trying to locate where it was coming from. So what is love? Well, the definition of love that I like to use is love is a thought or action of self-sacrifice in order to benefit another, right? So it's any time where you sacrifice your own well-being, you sacrifice your own your physical strength or mental ability, right? Your spiritual ability, whatever it is, you sacrifice these things in order to benefit another. It's so pure, you know what I mean? It's very pure. And if we're talking in a religious aspect of it, it shows you how pure, like if God's love is pure, it shows you how crazy that is, that he would sacrifice himself in order to see you benefit, even if you are not siding with him, right? Even if he is going to be, God is a he, right? Making the assumptions, but even if he is going to be angry or he is angry at some things that you're doing or you're going to do, if he's angry at things that you're saying or going to say, or all the sin that is in a human being, right? It shows you how deep that love goes with that definition, right? In order to benefit another, self-sacrifice. So love can never actually come to full fruition if it does not involve self-sacrifice. You have to grind and sacrifice your time in order to show love to other people. Now, love and the vessels of love are two different things as well too, and we're going to get into that soon. But if somebody gives you money, right, they are doing a self-sacrificing act, right? Because they had to get that money through some sort of work, right? Even if it's given to them, it's now a part of their identity. They take that money and they give it to you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that person loves you. What stands out with people who love you is that they don't seek anything in return. And now I'm gonna get into that at the end of this podcast, right? But yeah, so that's what I think love is, and the definition that most people would probably use, right? The thought or action of self-sacrifice in order to benefit another. Now, I wanted to distinguish what I meant also as another. Now think about, follow me real quick. So you in the future and you now are two different people, and the change occurs, right, in an intangible, or in math what they would say, irrational measurement, right? So the measurement of change occurs, you can't measure it at all. It's intangible numbers. It's unimaginable. You know what I mean? And the rate of change is also unimaginable. Like us humans, every single increment of time, even the smallest increment of time, leads to change, because our bodies are always doing something different. We're always having different thoughts and emotions and feelings about whatever situation we're in, or about whatever we feel about ourselves. So there's a large difference between you now and you in the future and you in the past, right? And I'm saying this in order to say that, when you're looking for answers on how to love yourself, it's simply by imagining yourself as someone else. And I don't mean it completely someone else like your friend or some shit like that, or your parents or family members. I mean, imagine, like, treat yourself as you would treat another human being, right? That you need to take care of, that depends on you for everything, right? And that human being is literally the future you. That's why we brush our teeth, right? We wash our face, we clean our area, we clean our clothing. It's not so that we can enjoy it right now while we're cleaning it, while we're brushing our teeth, we're enjoying the process. Like, no, it's because I don't want myself an hour from now to have plaque in his teeth still and a stinky mouth, or I don't want me 2 days from now to not have any clothing, right? Clean clothing that he can wear. I don't want me a year from now to be broke, right? What can I do right now? All these you might say, right? All these examples are examples of you showing your love for yourself through vessels, but you're still engaging in self-love, right? And I do not use that. I don't want anybody to use that as an excuse to be materialistic. You know what I mean? Like, don't just say you're loving yourself if you know you can't afford that, or if you know that people around you that you care about can use that type of support a lot more than you. You know what I mean? Self-sacrifice, love. That's what it means to love your neighbor, right? You're going to give up on yourself for a little bit in order to help someone else, right? To benefit them. And so I wanted to make that distinction before I actually got into the topic of, right, what's the difference, right? I said that there was intelligent love and there's experienced love, right? What I mean by that is, so people who rely solely on what they experience and interpreted love is, or love does, don't always know exactly what love is. So they use it as an umbrella term for uncomfortable feelings, thoughts, and actions that occurred to them throughout their lifetime. I think that might have explained it, but let me just give an example, right? The way that your parents treated you when you were younger. Everyone knows or has the assumption, right, that your parents are supposed to love you, right? As close to perfect love as possible. They're supposed to provide for you. Your friends are supposed to love you. Your family is supposed to love you. Distant, or when you're in a relationship, your girlfriend's supposed to love you. Your boyfriend's supposed to love you. If you're in marriage, your wife is supposed to love you, right? And as human beings, we go through these experiences of ups and downs and trials and tribulations and disagreements. You can keep on going down that fact. But what I'm trying to get to is that a lot of the treatment in these relationships can also say abuse is occurring. You might be being you might be in a situation where you're gaslighted, as in, oh, I abused you because I loved you. So they didn't actually love you. These people who mistreated you, misused you, abused you, they didn't actually love you. They used love as an excuse to do those things. And it actually can get so bad when you're in a situation like that, to the point where the other person doesn't even need to tell you, it's because I love you. They can treat you horribly and you'll allow them to treat you horribly, right? These are people with no standards, right? Like, they don't have a standard of self-respect in order to be respected, right? They just try to survive through life and think they have to deal with difficult circumstances and people. But yeah, these people, so they don't even need to have someone else say, oh, I did this because I love you. They might just interpret, hey, this person's abusing me. And they're going to gaslight themselves in their head. Oh, it must be because this person loves me. This person's mistreating me. It must be because this person loves me. This person wants to treat me horribly, right? And somehow this horrible treatment is going to benefit me at the end of the day. And so I'm going to continue this horrible, or being treated horribly, and kind of neglecting my own self-respect, my dignity, and those things. Let me make sure it's still recording. Yep. Yay. Right. So that's the difference between experienced love, and now I'm going to get into intelligent love. Right. So intelligent people, it has to start with somebody who's intelligent enough to be, to get the definition and the gist of it, and what's real versus fake. Right. You need to get to the bottom of this. This makes someone intelligent in my eyes, right? When we're talking about love, intelligent people go through lengths of learning what true love is and do their best to express it in a way that is as close and as true to what they have discovered through research, internal reflection, and self-development, right? This person is really putting their best foot forward when they're coming into a situation, right? And let me get even deeper into that. People who simply have the love intelligence but do not have it rooted into their true healthy identity can only love conditionally. And it's also, in a way, it kind of aligns with the person who experienced love and now they're trying to fake it, so they don't even have it unconditionally. But when you root love, right, being a loving person in your identity, intelligently, right, you use the definition, you research, you internally reflected, what moments in my life did I feel loved, right? What moments in my life did I feel cared for? Where has somebody else sacrificed themselves for the benefit of me, right? And what did they do? How can I implement that as well into my life so that people around me can not only just exist around me, but they can be loved by me, right? And so that's the side of intelligent love. But the problem is that you can also gain intelligence about love and you don't even have the intention, right? The intention to actually love this person. You just want to make it seem like it's love. That's fake love, right? You want to make it seem like you are actually self-sacrificing for this person. You're really not. All you're doing is trying to manipulate the situation based off of based off of emulating this fake version of yourself, right? Because it's not rooting your identity. Fake version of yourself who does love this person, right? And even there, you can run into a lot of problems when it comes to people who are intelligent, right? Very intelligent. And you don't even really need to be intelligent. You just need to be able to, well, it takes consciousness, but you just got to be able to do research and learn. And most people can do that. What else did I have down here? Yeah, so having love rooted in your identity means that every single day when you wake up as a human being, you're committed to have the intention, but also to actually do the action of practicing love, right? It's something that you need to practice. It's a skill. You get good at it over time, right? The reason why I said that they express it in a way that is as close and as true to what they have discovered through research, internal reflection, and self-development is because there's a true love. There's a true love. I just spoke about it when I was talking about how God, right? So in Christianity, God came down, right, as a man and died on the cross for our sins, right? After he healed a bunch of people, that was a very short, that's a very short excerpt of the Bible, excuse me. But God came down as a human being and died for all of our sins. Basically sacrificed himself in order to ransom us, from the price that is put on our heads when we sin, right? That's truly unconditional. And even in the Bible, Jesus says, like, the greatest love of all is a friend who lays down his life for another. He's kind of giving us a view into what's about to happen, what he's about to do for us as humankind. And that's why I love the Bible, because you can learn a lot about love and relationships, everything, finances, history. Like, you can learn all of these things from the Bible. And most of the time, most of the terms are never, or not most of the time I read it, the terms are never wrong. The expression is never wrong. And so, yeah, so when you understand that you need to, like, when you understand love the right way, right, through actual research, through effort, putting your best foot forward, now it's become rooted in your identity, and you can choose whether or not you want to love, right, this person, that person, right? But at the end of the day, you still have a good grasp of what it means to be loved and what it means to love others. And you won't let the fake love in the door because you can recognize what comes with it, right? So that was just my whole, that was just me explaining the whole difference between intelligent love and experienced love, which is really not love, but, right? You guys should understand that. I hope you guys understand that. But now I want to get into reflection versus reciprocation, right? So love can be reflected, right? Like a mirror. It can be reflected, or it can be reciprocated. And what I mean by reciprocated is that it's given, it's a trade, but it's not an intentional trade. It's a covert type of trade that happens between two people who intelligently love each other. It's a trade. Now, when it's a reflection, you can tell it's a reflection because it's kind of a deliberate trade. It's in your face. It's, you did this for me, I'm going to do that for you. It's not really love, right? That's what I'm trying to get at. So if it's not intelligent and if it's not reciprocated, it's not love. But if it's experienced and reflected, I mean, if it's not intelligent and it's not reciprocated, it is love, right? But if it's based on reflection and experience, it's not love, right? And I'm going to get into this. So first I want to get into reflection. When love is reflected back to you by another individual, it is simply like looking in the mirror. All the love that comes off of that individual is laced, mixed, concocted, plagiarized. Every action you direct to this individual just feels like, I'm only doing this because you did this. It's conditional. It's a response. It has been measured. It has been predetermined. Both individuals feel uncomfortable, undeserving. They might even feel disgusted with themselves and with each other because they know deep down inside the situation is not genuine. The relationship is no longer rooted in reality, assuming both parties are healthy and aware of reality before the situation occurs, right? So that's what I wrote on what I think the reflection of love is and how to pinpoint it. And I understand that when you get into these situations, it's kind of coercive, because when you don't understand it personally, what it actually means to be loved, or how to love others, you can fall into situations where you're receiving this fake love and you're reflecting fake love back to this person without even knowing that, hey, this is a reflection. It's not reciprocated. I don't actually love this person. I just feel like I need to do something for them in order to sacrifice myself. And that's the thing about love, is that it's unconditional, right? It shouldn't want to be expressed just because it was expressed towards you. It should be expressed from your core, from your identity, and then it's going to be paid back by those people who already as well have it in their core and identity. But when it's reflected, you can tell that the other person does not really love you, does not really want to accept your gifts, or does not want to accept your time or your attention. Whatever vessel you use to deliver that message of I love you, they don't want to accept it. And even as they do, right? Whatever they're going to give back to you is not really love. It's predetermined, it's concocted, it's laced. It's laced with fakeness. It's plagiarized. You know what I mean? It's I didn't write a poem for you. I'm gonna go search up a poem and then I'm gonna send it to you so you can think it came from me. But I would never really write this stuff and sit down and turn my brain and scramble my words until I found just the right thing to say to you, because I don't love you like that. You know what I mean? But we gonna make it seem like I love you like that. That's what I'm talking about. That you know, it's just a grimy type of love. It's very grimy. And okay, I gotta fix the screener here. And then reciprocation, right? What the fuck? So it's love that is traded between two different parties, right? Both have made it part of their identity. A goal of this law. What the fuck? Okay, yeah, I didn't even write English for the last part, but basically reciprocation is that both people already have made it a part of their identity to be a loving person. And so when they run into each other, they're already sharing this love that is as close as possible to purity. You know what I mean? Both of them are willing to sacrifice for each other as far as the other one would. One would die for the other. One would starve for the other. One would work for the other, clean for the other, you know, like clean each other. Like you actually scrub your back, and these people, you know, it's like, you know, you got to keep her when the person is taking care of you when you're sick, when you're broke. It doesn't matter. They're always going to love you because it's unconditional. It doesn't rely on any type of situation, profitable or beneficial situation for them. That's true self-sacrifice. When you know, oh man, I don't want to do this, but the way that I feel about this person is way deeper than my boundaries, my goals, right? Now, I don't advocate that you release all your boundaries just because you think that somebody came along that loves you, or you actually do have people that love you around you, that you release all your boundaries, right? It's responsible. Again, it has to be based in reality, right? So you have to do the responsible thing for yourself. That's true. That's what I think that reciprocation of love is, right? It's like on at Christmas time, both of you guys get each other a gift. You guys don't get each other a gift because you know the other one's gonna get me a gift. You got a gift because that person's on the forefront of your mind as, oh, this is someone I need to get a gift, and you're on the front of that person's mind of like, oh, I really love this person. I want to make them feel, you know, happy, or I want them to have joy because I gave them something. Right? That's the purity of it. And now I think because I got through all my terms, I can go on a little bit of a tangent, right? I know y'all probably sitting there like, yo, this could have been a short one. You know what I mean? Like, why do you want to continue? Well, I want to continue because I want to get into like how complex it is. You know what I mean? In personal situations, right? And we're about to get into that, but you know, it's like, I've had this person who I loved for a while, like in my heart. I had so much love for them, and that's why my heart is black. you know, that's why my heart is black. But I'm joking. My heart's not black. It's darkening day by day, getting colder, like winter, and none of it. Okay, I'm joking, okay? I'm joking, bro. I'm still here. I'm still loving. I'm still, respectful, and I try to spread it as much as possible, as much as that is responsible. But I was in a situation where I loved this person for a very long time. Before I knew the true definition of what love is, I was loving this person. At least I thought I was. And I knew, like, if this person ever asked me for the clothes off my back, all my money in my bank account, all my possessions, and burn them in front of me to achieve happiness, to have some sort of joy, that I would give it to them. You know what I mean? This person If they left me with nothing because they needed it, or even just because they wanted it, I'll be okay with it, you know, because I knew that personally within my deep, like in the deep core of Lux, right? My core, in the deepest parts of my core, it was penetrated by this person. And yeah. And I still have a lot of love for them, but it was painful to go through this experience recently because I just so it was never rooted in reality. It was never rooted in reality. It was rooted in daydream fantasy land, you know, like freaking Spy Kids or something, you know, like we went into a video game or whatever, and it took me in a dark place in my life when I realized that this person does not feel the same way for me. I didn't realize it, I already knew, but it was hammered home after I was going through a tough time and having a tough time with my mental health, with my social relationships, family relationships, financial issues, and no stability, no foundation, you know, spiritual issues. It was hammered home because this person was not, it's not on this person, it's on me, right? My feelings are, I'm responsible for my own feelings, right? I shouldn't have let it get that far. But what it did to me to see this person completely change the way that they act, or just become so cold towards me, it hurt. It hurt a lot. And it set me down like this kind of like this trail, this path of destruction. And it wasn't literal either. Like it wasn't literally like I'm just destroying everything in my path. Like no, it was like mentally like I'm ready to just give all of this shit up, you know? Like what's the point? What's the point of fighting if I don't have this person? Like what's the point of grinding the way that I grind, working how hard I work, being happy, happy go lucky, you know, a good spirit in general, if I don't have this person in my life, you know? And it wasn't the first situation I felt like that, right? But it was one of the last. It was one of the last. It was the last for me because I realized like what I was doing wrong was I was directing the feeling, the responsibility, right? Because it's part of my identity, the responsibility and the feeling of being a loving person towards this one person. You know what I mean? Or a couple of people in my life. And I was only treating them this certain way, treating them with love, right? Without, you know, giving without seeking anything of the person, and really breaking my back just to see this person be proud of me, be, you know, happy and joyful. And now when I look back on it, it disgusts me because I have a lot more love for myself, right? I love this crazy amount of love for myself, where I can never let myself actually feel like I'm doing too much for someone else before I did it for myself. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was terrible. I'd wake up and think about it. I'd go to sleep and think about it. I couldn't sleep just thinking about it sometimes. You know what I mean? And I couldn't eat, wouldn't eat. I was just angry and bitter. But again, right, it's because I was putting all my fruit, all my eggs in one basket, as people would say, right? And at that point, it wasn't a part of my identity of like, I want to be this person who's loving. It was more like, this person's in front of me right now. I want to show them that I have the ability to be loving. But I wasn't actually showing any type of love. And that's why it was confusing for me and this other person. And I've been in situations, right, where people who you do love do the most terrible thing to you, like completely terrible, completely heartless, and disrespectful, whatever it is. And because it's not part of my identity, right, at the time, you're thinking like, why would this person ever treat me like this? Why would they do this to me? You know, why would they ever think about opening their mouth in this certain way towards me? Why would they ever think about treating me like something that's a foot, under their foot, under their shoe, like gum under their shoe? You know what I mean? Like, just worthless. And recently, right, I realized that the only reason why you feel those periods when you're down, when people who you trusted in or who you loved, right, when they treat you badly, is because it's not a part of your identity, right? And because it's not a part of your identity, what is it? It's fake love. You're loving in a fake way. You know that you can't show your true self to this person because you're scared of judgment. You're scared of condemnation or exile. You're scared to be exiled. But once you make it a part of your identity, right, in order to be a loving person, it flows so naturally out of you, you don't even realize the effect that it's having on anybody else because you don't care. You just wanted to share it. You just wanted to admit the radiation, whatever vessel that you use, whether it's buying your homies drinks or buying that girl that you like flowers, right? It's completely natural. You really don't even expect anything from it. You don't, like, maybe she might not even like you back and you don't care. You just you go, here's some flowers, here's some chocolate, right? It's so pure. But it's like, you shouldn't only be doing it because you like her. You should do it because that's your personality. Anybody, your mom, your brother, gets like, you want to show appreciation to anybody. It's like, it has to come from the core first. It has to be all up here, not for any type of benefit or anything like that. And to really dial into, where's this tab? To really dial into what I mean, right? I wanted to get into the Bible, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 11. Got to type it in. Chapter 11, right? It has a really, really great definition of what love is and how you should be incorporating it into your life in order to not be let down by other people, right? And in order to stay on that path where this is only going to benefit this other person, it can never destroy them. You know what I mean? About me loving them, right? So maybe 13. Yeah, it's 13. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. My bad. But right, if I speak in tongues of man or of angels, but I do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have faith that can move mountains, but I do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is like the core principle of this earth. Is basically what God's trying to say. Whatever you receive, give, think, like you have, you do, and there's no love inside of it, it's pointless. It's not, you gain nothing. There's nothing there. You know what I mean? Whatever you did with your love, it wasn't really love. You know what I mean? But let me get into it. This is verse 4. Love is patient. You guys have all heard this probably, but you know, it's always good to really drill this down into the brain and stamp it down. You know what I mean? So when you need it, you can pull it out anytime. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, it always trusts, it always hopes, it always preserves. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. Right? This is verse 9. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now, we see only in a reflection as a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part. Then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. I love that chapter. It's so powerful. It opens you up to this whole version of love that is otherworldly. It's non-existent in the planes of earth. You know what I mean? Like this is perfect love being described, right? In the Bible. This is perfect love being described. How it doesn't envy, right? Someone who envies you and they claim to love you doesn't love you. It doesn't boast, right? Someone who boasts about the good things that they're doing for you, to you or to others, they don't love you. They're boasting. You know what I mean? Like if you work hard your whole life and you donate everything to charity, but there's no love in your heart for that actual cause, then you gain nothing, right? You grind hard in order to what? To get the money. To get the money for what? If you're not doing it for love, it means nothing, right? And again, love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It's patient, right? It's patient with you. It's not going to rush you to make a decision. It's not going to rush you to get somewhere in life. It's not going to rush you to change, to be better. It's not going to rush you to get to this place, to get to that place, to, you know, overcome all obstacles. It's not going to rush you. It is patient, right? It's kind. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It doesn't, just because you're in a situation, it's not going to take away your honor from you. You know what I mean? Like if somebody's loving you and you do something that's dishonorable, it won't dishonor you. They will love you. You know what I mean? It's not self-seeking. It's not, oh, I did this for you, now you got to do this for me. I'm doing this for you so you can do this for me. It's not self-seeking, right? Like your boss doesn't your boss doesn't love you, dog. I'm sorry, like you're done. But it does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. Hold on, I skipped one. It is not easily angered. Love is slow to anger. Somebody loves you from the heart, they will never be angry quickly. You can't do something that will make them go off the rails that fast, right? It's slow to anger. It doesn't mean love doesn't get angry, right? Because let's go to the next one. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. Rejoice means have joy again and again and again. You know what I mean? So it's like when it's about the truth, when they know that this is the truth, you're going through this, it's wrong, this is the right thing, and that's the truth. This might be a situation where love does get angry, right? When you're delighting in evil, but it knows the truth, right? So if your girl really loves you, she's not going to continue to respect the fact that you are doing something that's harmful to yourself, or you're doing something that's harmful to others. It's going to tell you the truth. It's going to tell you exactly where you messed up, exactly how you're messing up. It's going to help you get to the bottom of it and overcome it, right? It's not just going to, turn a blind eye. I didn't see that. You know, he did this to that person, but he's still good to me, so I'm not going to That's not love. That is not love. If anything, I think that's lust, you know? But it always protects, it always trusts, it always hopes, it always preserves, it always protects. See a bullet coming, I love that person, you got to jump in front. If you really love that person, you would jump in front of that bullet. You would jump in front of that bullet. If you really love that person, bruh, you know what I mean? If you really love your girl, right? You're not all on her phone. You trust her fully. You don't even, the reason for that too is because you don't care what's on her phone. What are you gonna do? Be envious? It's not love. You don't love your girl. You're gonna boast. Oh, I caught her doing this. You don't love your girl, man. You know what I mean? You're gonna be proud about it. Oh yeah, no, she don't talk to no. Like, what's the reason for going through the phone, right? You always trust. It always trust. There's no reason to be like, hey, what were you doing? Because you love that person. It doesn't matter what they were doing. It could have been outside, you know, giving it to the whole world. You really love them. It doesn't matter. You always trust them, right? It always hopes. It always hopes for the best. It always hopes to see you happy. It always hopes to see you taken care of, to see you responsible, to see you best, looking the best on your feet. It always has hope in its heart. When somebody loves you, they always have hope in you. They don't become hopeless. They don't lose hope. You're never gonna be anything good, right? Or you're not even worth anything. It doesn't lose hope. It always holds on to hope. It always preserves. Perfect love. It always preserves, right? You need food, I got you. You need place to stay, I got you, right? You need a job, I got you. You need to talk to somebody, I got you. Because we're trying to preserve you. I'm trying to preserve you through love. I'm trying to love you and preserve you, right? I'm not trying to take. I'm not trying to destroy. I'm not trying to dent. I'm not trying to hurt somebody who I love. I'm not trying to do any of that stuff. Why? Because I got to preserve this person that I love. Got to preserve them. I got to preserve everything about them, not only their physical body, but their spiritual needs, right? Their mental health. I got to preserve it. I got to put my best foot forward to preserve this person spiritually, you know, to preserve this person's name, their honor, all of these things, right? That can follow their education. I got to preserve it. Like, you know, we gotta make sure that this person is doing great. That's love. That's real love. Love, it never fails. I love that. It never fails. If it failed, it's not love. That's what I heard. I heard that, forget it, might be in a YouTube clip or TJ's sermon, but it was like, you know, love never fails. If it failed, it wasn't love. So you fail me, you don't really love me. That's the thing. Like, you failed. If you love me and then now you don't love me, or you used to love me back in the past, but now you don't love me anymore because I did whatever, or you did whatever, wasn't love. Wasn't love. And from verse 8 through 12, it's basically explaining why it's so important, right? Why it's so complex, right? Complexity of love. But why it's so important to have this as a piece of your identity, to know this deep down inside before you even go out into the world, before you even try to attempt at loving yourself. You need to understand, what is love? What is it, love? And that's a problem. Like, I see these days, like in our generation, a lot of people are ran out of love, man. They ran out of love, or they never even try to cultivate it in their lives. They never try to cultivate it, recognize and pinpoint what it means to be a loving person and what it means to be loved. Who loves me? You know what I mean? Like, they don't even have the 2 cents to give a crap about love. If anything, fuck love. Like, you know, you heard that many times. Fuck love. People don't even understand what they're saying fuck to. They're saying fuck to something that's gonna last past even the earth. You know what I mean? Past you. When you die, love will still exist. Again, right? Let's read this again. Let's read this again. Where there are prophecies, they will cease. Oh, this is gonna happen. It happened. Now what? It's gone. It's gone. It ceased, right? Where there are tongues, there will be still people talking all that rah, all that nonsense. People talking all that They talking that shh. You know what I mean? talking all of that. Hey, look, they're going to be done. When you die, your tongue is stilled. You can run into an accident, now your tongue don't work no more. You can't even speak, right? But even if somebody who can't speak, they can still love other people, right? That's beautiful. That's beautiful. In my head, it made me smile. I'm not going to lie. You know, where there is knowledge, it will pass away. You ever see, like, bro, old people? You ever talk to an old person? Oh, back in my day, I was the smartest. Nah, you know. Oh, it's just my memory is just shot now. Shot, like it's dead. It's dead. It's just being dead. It's clipped. Your memory's clipped because you got old. Like, you know. So like whatever knowledge that you thought you had might be taken away from you. You know what I mean? When you die, you can't express knowledge. You can't put your knowledge to use. No, you can't. But guess what? Or yeah, but you can, right? But guess what? When you love someone and then you die, that person's always gonna remember how you love them. They're not gonna remember how smart you are. They don't care about how smart you were. Oh, this person was you know, they were very knowledgeable for their age. Like, no, like love. That's why in Christianity, right? Again, to the values, to the core of the issue or this topic. Christianity, there's only 2 commandments that Jesus left for us. That's why a lot of people be like, oh, didn't God say you guys can't eat pork and you guys can't cut the size of your head and la la la? No, Christians listen to Jesus, who is God. And Jesus said all of that has fallen, has passed away. The greatest 2 commandments is love God and love others, right? And why is that? It's because it's very powerful, but it's needed. It's the core of existence. Where we were put on earth to love each other. We weren't put on earth to hate each other, you know, and to chase money, to chase women, to chase relationships with our family, meaningless ones, you know, to waste our time, to just bide. We were put here to experience love from others, but as well as from God on this earth. That's like a very beautiful again, right? And he goes into, you know, hold on. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. We don't know everything. We can't say everything's going to happen, everything that's going to happen in the future, right? But, and because of that, right, what is in part disappears because you see a part of it is going to be, it's gone. You know what I mean? But he goes into this and he says, when I was a child, I talked like a child. This is Paul. And I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. Right? And that shows you, one, that's biblical masculinity. But 2, that tells you, right, what I was talking about before. Experienced love is not love, right? The love between a mother and child is love, but the child doesn't understand what they're doing, how they love their mother. You know what I mean? So they might treat her not necessarily the best way, right? According to what I just stated, all these things that I stated about love. Right? It might be fake love sometimes. It might be real love this time. It might be reflected and it might be reciprocated here, but it's only reflected there. It might be, you know, intelligent sometimes, but sometimes it's off experience, you know? Like, and that's what I mean by, well, that's what Paul's, I think he's talking about, how, like, you can't come into this trying to act like you're still a child. Again, why you should be intelligent about it, why you should understand it, right? Because that's the whole reason why he put it all in one chapter, right? Why you should understand it is because, look, all these things that you're doing, I feel like he was trying to tell the church of Corinthians, all these things that you're doing, it's not love. And even if love is attached to it, right? If love is attached to it, it'll be love. But just because you do these things, it doesn't make it love, right? You need to add love to these things for them to be worth to have any worth. You know what I mean? For them to be valuable. Anything that you do, for it to be valuable to God and to others, you need to have love attached to it. So don't think like when you were a child and you did something nice for somebody and then they didn't do anything back for you and you got angry. You know? Don't think like a child when you did something nice for somebody and you boast about it. Go tell everybody else, hey, I used to do this and do that for this person. No. You boasting, man. You're negating your own love, right? Think like a man. Think intelligently. Be one. Be a man. I put the ways of childhood behind me. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. All these things, these childish actions of me trying to emulate this feeling, this thought, this action to this person, I need to do it intelligently. I need to use logic. I need to be well aware of what I'm doing with myself and how I'm conducting myself, right? As a man, right? For now, we see only a reflection as in a mirror, right? Back to reflection, right? Then we shall see face to face. And I think this is where Paul is talking about how right now, again, right? This is very important to this podcast too, right? The complexity of love is because us human beings, we can't love each other the perfect